Father Harron in 5A. He's blind.
But watching, waiting, warding off evil, there is hope. The Sentinel.
The Sentinel. This movie is like it's a mad, 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 mad world of occult horror because there's so many celebrity cameos all throughout. It's a big all-star cast. Ava Gardner, John Carradine, Burgess Meredith, Christopher Walken, Jeff Goldblum, Sylvia Miles, and Beverly D'Angelo. Its star quality does contribute to the film a lot that I'm a little on the fence about this movie. I love the cast. I love some of the very strong, horrifying visuals. They resemble like a modernized Bosch painting. It's all this sex, death, graven religious hallucinations. On the flip side, there are other moments that just feel a little cheap, a little like a TV movie of the week. It just gave me a little tonal whiplash. One can tell the filmmaker were trying to outdo occult films like Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, The Omens. Unlike its supernatural predecessors, it never really fully commits to the grim tone in other scenes. So it goes from being like really dark and serious and scary to just a little too lighthearted for my taste. One example is an instance where the lead actress is having a flashback of catching her father in a weird kind of chubby chaser cake orgy, and it leads to her having a suicide attempt. And while that scene was somewhat effective, it seemed kind of watered down or misplaced next to her cheerily apartment hunting with her best friend or modeling. And these photo shoots, we're supposed to believe that there is a hex upon her or some kind of sinister air, but she just seems more like she's accident prone than anything. But picture this, a glamorous glamazon supermodel who lives in New York City is searching for the perfect apartment. She could easily move in with her very handsome boyfriend, but she has these deep-rooted trust issues that stem from her philandering, cruel father. There's a very effective pop psychology moment in the film where she asks her mom, why did you stay with dad all of those years? And her mom responds, and it's a real heartbreaker. She says, I had nowhere else to go. Is the explanation to why she's so hell-bent on getting this apartment, which just so happens to be one of the gateways to hell on earth. Christina Rains plays the supermodel. She's very sympathetic at times, but mostly she gives a low energy performance that reads as kind of ditzy. The low energy leads to a slowness in the middle and towards the end of the movie, and in a similar way that I felt about Rosemary's Baby, where we the audience feel like these people should have hopped on the clue wagon 20 minutes ago about all this occult treachery that they're going through. You think they would kind of be a little more wise to it, but no, not at all. This is the type of movie that really relies heavily on what we, the audience, bring to it as far as different occult movie mythologies that kind of help us fill in the gaps, which I think there's plenty of gaps in The Sentinel. The explanation of the secret Catholic society, the gateway to hell apartment, and the demons that inhabit it are given this really vague, quick wrap-up in the last few minutes of the film. Luckily, those last few minutes are some of the most kind of freakish, horrifying of all the 70s horror films there are. The images that, again, are very reminiscent of a Hieronymus Bosch painting. They're surreal, erotic, nightmarish hallucinations. When I sat through and thought about, basically the Catholic Church in this movie forces people against their will to become the new guardian of the hell gateway at this apartment, I thought that was sort of depressing. It's like, are you a successful woman declaring your independence, starting over after the death of a toxic person in your life? Think again, bitch, because the Catholics have your fate sealed in this one. So I was like, does anyone win in this movie? You're forced into being the new gatekeeper. My favorite scenes include a moment where the supermodel, she's new to the building in a very good nature way. She goes out of her way to meet her new neighbors, which doesn't really seem like something a New Yorker would do necessarily, but they're played by Sylvia Miles and Beverly D'Angelo, and she's like, what do you guys do for a living? And they say, we fondle each other. So they give the term openly gay like a whole new meaning. Sylvia Miles goes to get her coffee, and Beverly D'Angelo decides this is the perfect moment to just start she-bopping in front of my new guest. I feel like that scene would not necessarily be in a movie today, but whatever. I kind of like the shock value of it.
It's rather rude to eat and run.
I didn't eat, I drank.
My other favorite scene is where they're throwing a birthday party for a cat. And, I just think in general more movies need scenes with birthday parties for cats. They have like a little party hat on it, and this old ditty says randomly, black and white cat, black and white cake. I'm not sure what she means by it, but I love hearing it.
Black and white cat, black and white cake.
In spite of its flaws, when it's entrenched and committed to scenes of horror, it's really quite effective. I just wish the entire film had this sort of artistic continuity. The original reviews by critics were scathing, one even saying the film felt like deleted scenes from other horror films that came before it that were all spliced together. The Sentinel is not a film that panders to intellectual critics, only to pseudo-intellectual ones like me, and also horror fans, hardcore horror fans like me, or the kind of audience it's really pandering to. It's perfect for Halloween, so lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Get a mind-altering substance and maybe a few friends, and you'll have a good old time. It's like a Jacqueline Suzanne novel meets Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist. I really do recommend it. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you're feeling about The Sentinel. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere kind of in between like I am? Leave a comment. Let me know what's going on. My name is Jacob Lomax, and thank you so much for watching Strangest Films.